second key point is to foster intercultural dialogue. And how we're going to do that is research and partner with local NGOs with special interests and link them to global NGOs with the same interests to do exchange. So if you look at this beautiful picture, you see, like, if we had someone in New Orleans working at, like, what example did you use? Like a women's shelter?
Battered shelter.
Right. So if you had someone working in New Orleans in a battered women's shelter, and they would come over and, like, get connected with someone who's perhaps working at a similar women's shelter in India, and they would perhaps talk, have some exchange, and then perhaps, like, find out, well, what are the needs in India that need to be met, and, like, what can we do for that? So then we would swim across the pond here and go to India and perhaps spend a week, deliver some sort of program, whatever it is, and then we would come back after and come back to New Orleans and sort of debrief everyone and tell them, like, basically educate them about what's going on in India and what we did and, like, what other things we can do for that.
Yeah,
Is that a pretty good?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So to kind of, like, make it a little bit more concrete, a Requiem member could be doing a semester-long internship here in New Orleans with whatever special interest NGO or nonprofit, and our example was Battered Women's Shelter. And then at the end of it, Mercury would have set up an exchange with a similar organization in another country. It doesn't have to be India, it could be like somewhere in Latin America, but the same kind of focus, and they would go and spend a week or 2 weeks to kind of bring their experience with working in the New Orleans community,
right,
and then share that, you know, what works and what's our constraints here in New Orleans, share that with whatever country that they're working in, and then whatever they learn there, bring that back and spend like a final summary review session with their local NGO, and then, you know, kind of share that with the Requiem members.
right.
Then our second point.
You do better explaining social media.
Sure. Our second point is to really just capitalize on Requiem social influence, since we do have people who have access to this worldwide. The local chapter could say, as an example, NOLA member seeks fellowship in Rwanda to counsel kids affected by the genocide. And then once that's put out there, we all are active and engaged with the Twitter and Facebook accounts. So somebody could say, this is Requiem, you should check out this link on studies that are going on with genocide in Rwanda. And somebody else could say, the University of New Orleans student is organizing a seminar to highlight sexual slavery to help raise funds for the NGO, This is Requiem. And This is Requiem retweet, social problems in Rwanda adults rise after childhood genocide. So to just kind of keep the conversation going on whatever project that we have.
Right.
And then the third part.
These are so fun to look at, by the way.
No,
Yeah.
aren't they pretty?
Dude, yeah.
And the third part is we don't want to reinvent the wheel, we just want to make it go faster. So at UNO, they already have a UNO leadership conference, which was very successful this year, and they are already in the process of partnering with other universities in the southern Louisiana region, but they have approached Requiem and said, we have leadership programs geared towards freshmen and sophomores, which talks about involvement on the campus, but what we need is an outside source to talk about involvement in the community. And I think that Requiem could kind of help fill this void so that we could organize, basically we would organize the training that we are providing to ourselves to just specialize in training in regional community development projects, so that we could then create a Gulf South Leadership Institute that would be drawing in students from all over the Gulf South to come to the University of New Orleans for this Leadership Institute. And so in that ways, we would be fostering intercultural dialogue through training and promoting travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.